Posting tweets here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Benny the Butcher album, Burden of Proof. This is the newest full-length LP from Benny the Butcher, a Buffalo rapper whose profile has been growing pretty quickly alongside his brothers in arms, West Side Gun and Conway of Griselda Records. Since doing their own label deal, connecting with Jay-Z, and releasing music on Eminem's Shady Records, Griselda has been one of the most talked about commodities in hip-hop today. And with their latest projects, each respective member is trying to take the best advantage of their newfound connections. There was Conway's well-groomed, versatile, and excellent new project. West Side has been packing his records with some pretty big features. And now Benny has hit us with this new one with production from none other than Hit Boy from end to end. So sonically, I'm kind of expecting a jump here from his early rugged mixtapes and raw high watermarks like Tana Talk 3. This is the second full-length project that Hit Boy has had his fingerprints all over this year. Earlier it was Nas's King's Disease, so I think it's pretty significant to be the next artist to get that rare honor, especially since he's helped elevate Benny's sound here to rich and luxurious new heights. It's kind of like hearing his clever coke raps transition from the corner to the penthouse. With fat beats, classy horns, mesmerizing samples, and well-known features, this is Benny the Butcher's big time. A sink or swim moment where he actually sounds like he is floating comfortably. I guess he's not lying on the first track when he says, "Yo, last year was about Brandon, this one about expandin', caught a flight to Cali, made 24 I landed, this rap shit easy to tell the truth, I can't stand it." One other upside to this project for me is that it's one of those records where the review kind of writes itself. Everything that is quality about the record just kind of hits you on the head. Hit Boy's versatile, colorful, hard-hitting beats, Benny's sharp lyricism, his cold-blooded demeanor, the gritty details in the pictures he paints, plus some impressive personal moments on the back end of the record too. Whether that be on Thank God I Made It, where he's going over the hardships and obstacles that he had to pass to get where he is today, his mom struggling to keep things together, his brother dying young and seeing him in his nephew's eyes. It's absolutely heartbreaking and a testament to just how well Benny's emotions translate through his words and flows. There's the track Legend, where Benny is going over the success and legend status he has achieved up until this point while dropping some great lyrical gems. Put my hood in diamonds so you know how my block did it. Gun come with a Carfax, you know who I shot with it. I beat a lot of charges, this money you gotta pardon. I'm a boss, so my hoe's too bougie for Olive Garden. Even Warpaint with Conway and West Side Gun gets personal and introspective to a degree. Typically when these three line up on a track, it is sure to be a barn burner, but it's actually a change of pace between Benny's paranoia around being pushed back into his old ways and Conway being shocked about where his talents have taken him. It definitely reveals a lot about both their characters. Plus the shimmering, nostalgic, pitched soul samples that are laced into the beat definitely help sell it too. So yeah, I think Burden of Proof's qualities speak for themselves. Maybe the most lacking thing about it are the features, the biggest of which seem to make the smallest impact on the record. Rick Ross definitely fits the luxurious vibe of Where Would I Go, but outside of referencing back to his old pistol whipping charges, his feature is pretty spaced out and typical. Then there's the song Timeless, which, first off, great beat. There are some dark, club-friendly rhythms topped with sinister melodies that transition from one passage of the song to the next. But there are features from both Lil Wayne and Big Sean on this one, which is an odd pairing at best. Stylistically, these guys are cut from such different cloths than Benny. Crossovers with Rick Ross and Freddie Gibbs, for example, just seem to make way more sense. Either way, though, Lil Wayne's flow is relentless, even if his lyricism isn't ambitious, and then Big Sean doesn't derail things, so that's good. Part of me wonders if it was Benny's plan to make sure nobody is really stepping to him on this record or even coming close. The only person in that vicinity here is Freddie Gibbs, and his appearance is kind of short-lived. Outside of that, though, Burden of Proof is a pretty solid record. There's the hard-hitting opener where Hit Boy graces us with a beat that Jay-Z would have rapped on in his prime. Crispy drums, urgent horn and organ samples. Meanwhile, Benny sounds mean on top of the track as he reintroduces us to the wit and decisions that helped inform his come-up. What he is delivering here isn't just mindless egoism, it is autobiographical. Then there's also Sly Green, which also sounds like a modern update on some gangsta rap relic from the Bling era. Lyrically, Benny continues to grow his aura with bars like, had the trap bumpin' like acne. Also, the promo I did, Pyrex should be giving me pots. Plus these assumptions that he signed an Illuminati deal. One Way Flight has some cycling, dreamy vocal samples that really hypnotize and soundtrack a couple of more great verses from Benny. Also a fantastic hook from Freddie, that line about either crying in this Toyota or, you know, this Maybach. Plus his last verse about running his girl's OnlyFans, having computer work, and buying some ugly white girl, whipping it and turning it to Miss Universe. Freddie does not need a lot of time to give you a lot to think about. Benny also hits us with the dramatic Famous, where it becomes very clear that drug dealing for him isn't just something to brag about or something to prove his, I guess, toughness, his grit, but it's just like a point of pride in a way. With his first brick, he says he felt famous, as opposed to with what he's doing now, where that same sensation just doesn't come. There's also New Streets, whose very nostalgic beat sets the tone for Benny to rap about essentially being a part of this new wave, but the brevity of it all prevents the song from having the same level of impact as many other tracks here, especially the more introspective ones on the back end at the very end of the LP. Once again, I'll say Burden of Proof is a relatively solid project, but I didn't come away from this thing feeling like we got Benny improved or expanded all that far. It was like a richer or more extravagant version of what I was already familiar with previously. Sure, there are some much needed personal moments on the record that I thought went over very well, but beyond that, Benny didn't really go out of his way to say or state anything that we didn't already know, or push himself outside of his comfort zone. Still though, feeling a decent 2 strong 7 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you could check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Benny the Butcher, forever.